inkproducts.com has now released a new refill kit with our refillable cartridges and COC smart chips. It's going to be for the Officejet Pro 6835, 6830. There's also a 6230 and a 6220. Very simple to refill. We offer two kits. These new models use pigment ink for color and black, but we have released a dye-based ink kit because at home or home use you want something that's a little bit more economical and you really don't need pigmented ink. And I've got our cartridges in now. They have the dye-based ink in them. And there again, if you have a business or you're going to run a business, we also offer the OEM quality pigment ink, the Ultra Pro pigment ink. You can look at that yellow. It's almost like yellow milk. Where in dye-base, it's going to be almost transparent. But it prints just as good. Photos come out awesome with the dye-base. It's a perfect refill kit. You're going to see in the rest of the video why for home use if you buy this printer. A quality report, and we're using our Ultra True Color dye-based ink. Works perfect. Now there again, you can have the pigment or you can have our Ultra True Color dye-base. It's great for home use, simple to use. I'll show you that in the rest of the video. When I show you the refill kits, I always make that little box up. That holds my bottles of ink, so I don't have to worry about getting them knocked over when I'm filling. Now in the first part of the video, I'm going to show you, this is our pigment kit. It comes with these quick fill stations for filling it, because you really need that with the pigment ink. You will not need them with dye base. That's why that refill kit, the dye base kit is less expensive, because doesn't require the fill stations. Now you fill up the syringe. Make sure you take out the plug. That's the fill plug. But it's also going to allow air to come out. We're going to fill from the bottom up. Very slowly. You'll see the ink rise in here, and it'll rise over here. Now, it may not cover all the fiber sponge that's in there. Doesn't matter. We're not concerned with the top. We're concerned with the bottom, where it goes into the print head. So just slowly fill it. The slower you go, especially when you're using pigment ink, the better off you are, because it gives a chance to seep into the fiber. That's it. And then what you would do is you would turn this in a clockwise to take it off. But before you took it out, you need to put it that little fill plug back in, like that. Now with all the cartridges, you get these little storage clips or fill clips. We use them for fill clips. I covered the opening kit with the pigment system. It just covers that hole so the ink doesn't come out there. You'll take that off. You'll be taking it off. But when you take it out of the quick fill station, you put it in. You gotta watch the way we're doing this. See? Goes in, locks in, now it can't leak. That's how that works. And then whatever ink is left in the syringe, you can return to the bottle. If you have HP cartridges, that's what these stations are good for, because you can put the HP in there and you can also fill that. But now I'm going to show you the home refill system using dye base. Let me clear off this table and I'll get it set up. Okay, now for the dye base system, you're going to leave it in the orange clip. You don't need the fill station. Take out the plug. See, dye base is a lot easier to work with, and especially for home use, because it doesn't clog. sometimes if you leave pigment ink too long, you know, for weeks on end, it can start to set up. So fill your syringe. Make sure you have a paper towel handy, because when I take the syringe out, I always like to wipe it off. There again, if you don't want to get ink on your fingers, get yourself a pair of rubber gloves. Then you're going to go right on in. Right into the fill hole. Then you're going to stop. And you're going to give it a second. You're going to see the ink start to seep right on into the fiber area. That's why you don't need a fill station. Now, you can use a fill station, but you don't need it. So it just takes a little time. And the other thing I want to point out, you want to make sure that that front vent is open. When you're filling like this, that vent has to be open. Now the first time you do it, takes an extra 5 minutes, because as you can see, it's seeping in there. But eventually it's all going to fill up. Then the next time you fill it, it's a lot easier. Just fill up the back chamber. These hold a lot more ink than HP cartridges. That's why I like to have the little box. I can lay that down there, and I don't have to worry about laying it on a table or knocking it over or whatever. So it's just going to take a little time. I figure to do it this way probably takes you, oh, maybe the first time a little over 5 minutes per cartridge. Now it's been a couple of minutes, and that's good enough. I'm not, I'm just going to fill up the back chamber. Remember what I said early in the video. You don't have to make that completely filled with ink. It's the bottom that's the important thing. So then just add some more ink, top it off. That should be enough. You can put the rest back in the bottle if you need to. Put the plug in. That's it. Now you can go put it in the printer. Now using dye-based ink, you can print on a lot more different stocks than using pigment ink. Pigment ink does not like glossy photo paper, but dye-based works good. Now if you took it off the clip, blot it on a paper towel for a minute in case there's any extra ink that might drip. You want to blot it. And then when you put it back in, if you ever put it back in, this is important. I hook the tab through, get it in there, and then I can lock it. Now I can store this, I can store the cartridge like this for weeks or months. It's not going to hurt anything. So for more information and to see this new dye-based kit for the 935 and 934 Officejet, HP Officejet, go to inkproducts.com.